I bought a new watch from the Seiko Prospex line. This is the Seiko Speedtimer Solar Chronograph. Quite a mouthful, I know. Given that this is a Seiko, I'm going to spare you the unboxing as most Seikos come in pretty generic packaging. The watch, however, is spectacular. The dimensions of the watch. The dial is 41.4 millimeters, but it features a rather compact lug-to-lug dimensions of just north of 45 millimeters. Next, the height of this watch is about 11 millimeters, which makes it wear really compact on the wrist, especially for a chronograph. The version of this watch that I got features this beautiful metallic sunburst dial. This watch is available in a variety of dial and bezel configuration. This one popped to me the most. Now, as the name suggests, this is a solar chronograph. So I'm going to tilt the watch around, and if you look at the chronograph dials, you'll see that the dials are recessed compared to the main part of the dial. This is where the solar cells are located. Quite an innovative move by Seiko. The watch, like most Seikos, is well loomed. It also features 100 meters of water resistance. It comes on a stainless steel bracelet, and it does feature some adjustments, but these are not on-the-fly adjustments. Let's get to the dials of the chronograph, which probably are some of the more unique features of this watch. So the first dial, going clockwise, is probably one of the more unique ones, as this is a 24-hour hand or a day-night indicator. I'm shooting this video just past 5 in the morning and the dial shows 5. If I was shooting it at 5 in the evening, it would be at 17. The next dial is as interesting as it features a car fuel style gauge, which is actually the power reserve indicator for this watch. It goes from E all the way up to F. According to Seiko, this watch can be kept in darkness for up to 6 months, and it'll still keep running before it needs to be exposed to a light source. When the chronograph feature is triggered, this acts then as the minutes hand of the watch. The last hand is the seconds hand of the watch. As said, the watch also features a date complication at 4:15. The chronograph action of this watch is very precise. It does not have that satisfying click of a mechanical chronograph like a Rolex Daytona or a Omega Speedmaster, but it certainly is very precise. Now, as I stop the chronograph, I can reset it immediately, but if I hit the reset button a second time, the bottom gauge goes back to being a power reserve indicator. Now, I want to talk about this watch in comparison to another watch I have. So while this watch is 41.4 millimeters, my IWC Mark 18 Edition Le Petit Prince is 40 millimeters. But as you can see, the lug-to-lug of this Seiko is certainly smaller than that of the IWC, and as a result, it actually wears perhaps more compact than that watch. I would say if you are looking to compare this watch, this wears more like a 39 millimeter watch. As you can see, that sunburst dial really pops. Now, what do I like about this watch? First of all, the specifications are next level in this watch. The second thing is it looks stunning. A lot of people have said, well, is this a Rolex Daytona homage or a copy? No, the Speedtimer has its own history by itself. Secondly, the dials, while the layout may be similar of the chronograph dials, the functionality of the dials is different than the Daytona. And third, it comes in a lot more bezel and dial combinations than the Daytona, so you don't have to go down that path if you don't want a homage-like watch to it. This watch also has the specifications to really make it good for any situation, including, given the thinness of the watch, it will fit under a dress cuff. What are my gripes about the watch? Well, perhaps two of my most minor gripes. The first is the lug width is 21 millimeters of this watch, and most straps tend to come in even numbers, 20 or 22 millimeters. Me, even though I'm a strap guy, I do find this bracelet extremely easy to wear. The second gripe of mine is the date window at about 4:15. It's not ideal, and in my opinion, it perhaps ruins some of the aesthetic of the watch, especially from a symmetry perspective. But once again, the date is a functional complication, and in a way, I'm glad it's there. Now, pricing. This watch in the US retails for about $700. I bought this on a trip to Japan where, due to a favorable exchange rate, I picked this watch up for just north of $400 US. At $700, this watch is a fairly priced watch for what you get. At $400, it's a complete bargain, being just probably $100 to $120 more than a Moon's watch. I wholeheartedly recommend people try and buy this watch. It's very hard to go wrong with the functionality, with the usual quality and reliability that Seiko has in their Prospex line. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for staying with me through my horological journey.